What's up, everybody? We got a jam-packed day today. So I do want to jump in to this video and breaking down and reacting to the Boone interrogation and see how she explains how her boyfriend ended up zipped in a suitcase. And was she drunk or was she not drunk? What rights does she waive? Why does she waive them? How does she waive them? We're going to be referencing that video I made on how people waive their rights in a way that just is so much more broad than they need to, especially when they try to convince law enforcement of their innocence and how that almost never works. So we're going to get into it today, but I do want to say we've got some really cool stuff coming on the channel here for the holiday season. And as you can tell already, if you follow us on Instagram or Twitter at Tragos Law right here, we're into the holiday season, especially Christmas, my favorite time of year. So stay tuned to all of our pages. We're going to be doing some shorts. We're going to be doing some reels. We're launching a couple new, very cool series that's going to show a little bit of a different side. We are always so serious and dug into these traumatic cases that are really sad. So we're going to try to have some fun on the short side and show you a little bit more about our firm and a little bit more about us and our personality and just a little more lighthearted videos that hopefully you guys enjoy. And if you do, let me know. And if you don't enjoy them, it's okay to let me know as well, because you guys are the best chat. And I'm appreciative of all of your input and helping me find content. And speaking of that, this is a case you all requested. And that's why we are talking about this case. You all specifically requested that we talk about this interrogation. That is why we are here. And that's why we're going to do this. So if there's enough interest, if you guys hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to our page, but hit that like button especially and share this with any of your friends that are interested in this Boone trial, because if there is enough interest, I will continue to do this. We're going to do part 1 today and watch about 30-ish minutes of this interrogation. If you're not as interested in it and it's not as fun as you expected, let me know and we can pivot to some other content that we have lined up. But this is going to be really interesting. I've watched parts of it. I have not watched the entire thing all the way through. And Boricua Jewel says that I introduced her to the 1.5 / 2 times speed. I don't think this is going to be one we're going to be able to listen on that speed because not everything is so crystal clear, but we are going to watch it together. And if it's possible to speed it up, we will. Get your questions in. I'll pause it once in a while, answer questions. I'll give my reactions as we go as well. Thank you for joining me. Let's have some fun today. Thanks, Marty.
I'm going to have you sit in the green chair that doesn't move. Appreciate you coming in. Yes, ma'am.
So she says, I appreciate you coming in. That means this was semi-voluntary. Now, if she would have refused to come in, would they still have arrested her and brought her in? Probably. But the officer's letting her know, oh, thank you for coming in. This was your choice. Letting everybody watch, no, this is your choice. And immediately after that, she says, I'm going to read you your rights again, which means she's already been read her rights.
I want to ask about these. We have a moment.
Sure. So obviously, he received his autopsy. So I'm going to read you your rights again because we have to talk about that. And since I'm talking about the incident, we just have to do it, just like we did yesterday.
Protocol.
Just like we did yesterday. Remember I read you the rights? Your rights? Yeah. So it's the exact same thing, but since I'm asking.
Confirming on video, I've already read your rights just yesterday, but I'm going to do it again. Do you remember that? Yes.
You follow-up questions, I need to read them to you, okay?
Sure.
All right, so you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say may be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer before and during questioning without charge. If you cannot afford a lawyer and want one can be provided for you before questioning without charge. Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything to get you to talk to me?
No.
And do you understand what I just read you?
Yes.
Perfect, okay. So this morning we went to his autopsy, and we were informed of some injuries that he has by the doctor. So I want, so he's got
a lot of you talked about these injuries, which is perfect because that's exactly what law enforcement focuses on. And we'll talk about why as the video continues.
Scratch marks to his back.
I know what that's from.
Okay. And it's called a contusion. Do you know what a contusion is? So like basically you're getting hit and then, you know, you get a mark from it. You'll get.
Okay. So I'm sorry, I'm pausing this a lot, but I assume that's why you all are here. A contusion. Do you know what a contusion is? Most people would just define a contusion as a what? Chat. What is a contusion? A contusion is a bruise, commonly referred to as a bruise. But how does this law enforcement officer, describe what a contusion is? A contusion is like when you're hitting somebody and then you can see a mark there afterwards. It's not the only way you can get a contusion. That's not in the definition of contusion, but the officer is clearly working down a path that Sarah Boone is not picking up on.
Bruising, like someone hit you or something like that. It's called a contusion. So he had some injuries to his left shoulder. He had a cut near his like lip. We could see his mouth was a little.
I haven't laid a
swollen.
hand on him.
Okay.
She didn't say you laid a hand on him. Why would you think she's think that? It's clear where it's going, and it's, you know, but again, Sarah Boone's going to try to talk herself out of this, and she thinks she can talk herself out of this, and she can't. But a split lip, a bruised shoulder, and there's even more to come. A lot of injuries on him, not just, oops, I accidentally ended up in a suitcase.
Also, too, he fell off my son's bike,
Okay.
so I don't know. And he's notorious for running into the wall or the hall tree. So
Okay.
Oh, the old
Okay.
run into the wall incident. If I had a nickel for every time an abuser said that their victim ran into the wall or opened the door into their face, happens all the time. She is trying to explain this away immediately, as opposed to just saying, I don't know how he got any of that, which if somebody has a bruise or whatever, you might not know how they got it there. But if you try to explain why, you're trying to explain it away here so far.
What about the scratches? Because there's also sex.
Yes.
Okay. Because there's also like a scratch on like the back of his neck, like kind of like going, but it's like going straight across.
I have no idea what that's from.
And they're all recent. Like they occurred recently. It wasn't something that occurred post or that occurred a week ago or 2 days ago, 3 days ago. They definitely occurred, you know, the night leading up to when he was.
In all honesty, we have not gotten into it.
Okay.
That's why, like, the only thing I thought you guys were going to ask me about, which I was going to be honest with you anyway, are the scratches.
So if you have to say, the only thing I was going to be honest with you guys about, or what I thought you were going to ask me about, that's indicating that she knows that they're coming for her and that she's got some explaining to do. And she already thought about how she was going to explain this. Lingo's first live. Welcome, Lingo. The lives are the most fun.
Marks on his back.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, I have no idea what it is. No idea what it is. Nonetheless, I've had my son over at the house too, so.
Well, your son was there when? When was he last there?
Oh, gosh.
From my understanding, he was there like last Tuesday.
I don't know if it was Tuesday, but yes, he was there last week, so.
Well, we're talking about Sunday.
Yeah.
We're just talking about what occurred Sunday. Because like I said, the injuries they occurred within that time period.
So you're talking about day before yesterday?
Sunday leading into Monday. You called us yesterday at 1, so, but the incident, you guys were painting and stuff the night prior.
Correct.
So she called him the day before. So the day before is when this actually happened. Already got his autopsy. She's already back for another interview the day later. They were going to arrest her whether or not she came and agreed to be interviewed, just so everybody knows. And Lita Randolph's comment here, yeah, should have had a lawyer. They're arresting you today, Sarah.
So we're talking about Sunday and then
That's
into
why
Monday.
I'm thoroughly confused, because we had a good time sitting on the back porch, having wine and smoking a couple of cigarettes, and then decided to go inside and literally paint, do puzzles, and play, and listen to music. That's why
They were going to play.
nobody got out of sorts. This is what's mind-blowing to me. Like, I have no clue. Nobody laid a hand on anybody.
He also had like on the left side of his forehead, he had basically bruising, and on like his head and skull,
I have no idea.
as if something
So bruising on his head and skull, maybe as if he got kicked down the stairs while he was inside of a suitcase.
hit him.
I
Considered
have not
blunt force
touched him.
trauma.
I have not touched him. I have not touched him.
Then how would you get those injuries?
Tell me and we'll both know. I have not touched him.
Yesterday, when we took photographs of
Marty, I would say, especially when innocent, bring a lawyer. So again, she's finally picking up on they think she did this, and the male cop's even like, so how else would he get these injuries?
your overall body, and they did the buccal swabs, did they go under your fingernails?
No.
Okay. Are you willing to let us
Absolutely.
swab underneath your fingernails?
Go for it.
Absolutely. Waive all my rights right here. Take the DNA, take the stuff under the fingernails. This is, and people are going to say, oh, it's so stupid. Why would she do this? This, you would be shocked at how many people, guilty or innocent, try to convince law enforcement officers that they are A, telling the truth, B, innocent. They care so much what these cops think about them. We saw it with Darrell Brooks too. They care so much about what cops think about them that they will, yeah, and these cops are smart. They're like, will you please come talk to us today? Yes, I will come talk to you, she said, obviously. Well, they didn't get underneath their fingernails, and we see all these scratches and bruising. Can we have it underneath your fingernails? Oh, sure, absolutely. Take it all. She's trying to convince the cops she's telling the truth. Darrell Brooks had a similar section throughout his interrogation.
Okay.
I have no idea, and I don't want to seem out of sorts, but I have no idea. We had a good day.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good day. We've had good days lately.
So Melanie so Melanie has said this a couple of times. I see you and I hear you and I understand that. And there were reports of things like this. I hazard a guess. How do you know what something going down the stairs sounds like versus dropping on the floor or whatever it may be? But yes, there's going to be indication of this, and the injuries may even fall in line with it.
Mm-hmm.
Even considering everything that's going on with our jobs and life in general and ex-wives and everything. It's been good. Like, I don't even know where this is coming from.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
said
even
the
know.
last physical was probably, you said, I think, what, a month ago? Where you got the injury, right? You said that was a
I'll
month
say
ago?
a few weeks, give or take, yeah.
A few weeks. That was the last, like, physical altercation between the two of you? You said a month ago he hit you with a curtain rod.
Yeah, with a curtain rod. That's why I can't believe you guys didn't take that either.
Wow.
I can't believe you guys didn't take that either. Meaning you should have done more about this. And the cop's like, well, you guys have a history of abusing each other.
Like, we've been good. I don't know if, like, it's since the last time he got out of jail. Like, we've been good, and he's been having his classes
Mm-hmm.
and seeing his probation officer, who's amazing. So,
What do you mean by good? What's your definition of good?
the
Because
probation
it means-
officer,
Not beating
You
each
said
other up.
You guys have been good. What's your definition?
I've
of
been good. I don't think you all understand. He comes at me all the time. He comes at me. So it's either I flee or try to go upstairs and go to sleep. That's
So this wasn't like a self-defense. I pushed him down the stairs and he passed, or even I used a gun or whatever because he was beating me, right? We're discussing how he ended up zipped up in a suitcase and you just left him there while you went to bed. So it's not like a self-defense case and she tries to start turning it into that as far as, he comes at me. He always comes at me. I never come at him. Well, is that motive? Did you then try to kill him by zipping him in a suitcase? She's not helping herself like she thinks she is.
usually what it is. And I don't know if you talk to Brian about any of that, but most of the time when I flee, I go over there. So,
Right, but you're saying that you guys have been good, and when I asked you yesterday, there hasn't, the last incident that you could remember was the curtain rod incident, which you said was a month ago. So,
give or take,
right. So what do you mean by he comes after you? Like,
he gets belligerently drunk.
mhm.
Like, I don't know if you all have looked through my phone yet and seen any of the pictures and the videos that I have taken.
Mhm.
And at one point, I started documenting everything.
Okay.
So you all will see in my pictures bloody.
I mean, imagine that. We know because we looked at some of the videos from her phone together. Imagine knowing what's on your phone, giving your phone to the cops, and then telling the cops to go look at the phone because you documented it as if it proves your innocence. Imagine that.
Fingers, split foreheads. He split my nose. I've got this.
Right.
I don't know if Brian told you about it, where I had to have almost I had one really bad surgery, but then it got really, 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 really bad where I had to go like 4 or 5 more times afterwards for them to tend to it, from him poking me in the back of the leg.
Right.
So it's,
Then why are you still with him?
everybody asks me that. When I tell you guys this, I really love him. Like I do. And I feel like I can help him. Like I feel like I could help him, which I did, because he came a really long way from where he was in Philadelphia to moving back to here and to dealing with everything else that he's been dealing with. I've really helped him. I've bailed him out of jail, 3 times. I've gone to every single hearing and every single arraignment, everything that I did for him. Gone to see all his public defenders, go to the state. I've gone to the state. I did everything for him because I'm trying to help him, because I had hope in him. And he was trying. He was really trying.
Bonnie, there could be, because it can really get in there deep. But I mean, some of these scratches may not have even just been from that night, right? They could have been from days before. So what you would have found, I don't know, but you get as much DNA evidence as you can, and it can absolutely stay under there for 2 days. It can. Some of it would probably die, but yeah, it's probably not as good as right after, but it's worth taking for sure. If she's going to give it to you, why not?
Right. And then he starts to think about things, and I think he gets overwhelmed. And then it's like, next thing I know, he's drinking. So it's like, oh man, I know where this is going to go. So I'm going to go upstairs and read a book, or I'm going to go for a bike ride, or I'm going to do something else. Or I don't want to drink. I don't want to drink. The occasional wine, whatever, or if it's a weekend, that's when you have a good time. You don't have to wake up the next day. I have to wake up the next day and do things. I have to tend to Lucas. I have to take him to school. I have all this stuff to do. He doesn't know how to, I guess, maintain himself, where I can do 50 things at once and still know the 50 things more prior that I need to get done. He can't process like that. He didn't process like that. So he would literally, not literally, but have smoke coming out of his ears. So the next thing
Literally,
you know,
not
he
literally.
doesn't want to deal with it. I'm going to go get something to drink. So the majority of the time, I would hang out outside or do something else because I don't want to drink. And every time, his job broke his heart. And it made me sad because he had so much pride in his job. And the store that he took care of so much totally went downhill. And that broke his heart because he had put so much work and effort into fixing it up. And his manager was awful and basically gave up on all of the employees. So I think that had a huge bearing on why he would drink so much. His ex-wife is bonkers. She was all over him all the time. Send me money, send me money, send me money. How can I send you money when I don't have a job? And he's still trying to take care of me and Lucas by paying a bill here or there, getting some groceries. So he always had something on his mind, which is why, again, I got the puzzles and the paint to try to get him off of it so we don't have a drink, or he doesn't have a drink. So when you all see my phone, you can see all of the damage he has done to me and the videos of him smashing my television.
Please look at the phone, look at the videos, look at the pictures. Yes, Audra. So a lot of you talking about the drinking and how her speech was slurred, and we talked a lot about that. It's very weird the way she explains it throughout, how she wasn't drinking. She doesn't drink a lot, only on the weekends. He's the alcoholic. He's always drunk. But then being drunk kind of becomes her defense because she went upstairs and passed out or went to sleep. What's really interesting about this interrogation, and just another reason as to why it's usually bad when you do stuff like this, she could not testify, invoke her Fifth Amendment right, and if they call a bunch of witnesses or have pictures or videos that are very different than what she's saying in this video, They can impeach with this video. They can play this video in front of the jury. This video can be very damning, as if she is on the stand saying much of this.
Because he's belligerently drunk. Where most of the time, I just don't want to be there. And I try to help him. I try to calm him down. Eventually, he just passes out.
Well, yesterday it made it sound like you guys were just drinking like a glass or two. Like, yeah, you obviously had the bottle, but you told me on recording, like, that you were not drunk. He was not drunk. You guys were having a good time.
I don't get...
See, here we go. We're about to get into it right now about were they drunk or were they not? Especially, was she drunk?
I can't get drunk. Number one, I do not want to get drunk. I don't like being non-compos mentis, having my wits about myself. I don't like feeling out of control.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm just saying you're making it sound like he's a raging alcoholic today, and yesterday I was kind of asking you those questions and you're like a little defensive, like.
So she's already impeaching her. She's already explaining how she's inconsistent, and we can't even believe what you're saying because you said something exactly opposite yesterday. Robin, yes, I am going to be covering the Darrell Brooks sentencing. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe, hit that reminder bell, because next week we're going to focus on Darrell Brooks and that sentencing.
No, we're not alcoholics.
I'm not.
We are not, you know, but you guys were both sober on Sunday, to your knowledge, because when I said you went and passed out, you were like, no, I didn't pass out. I just fell asleep. So now it's kind of like, what is it? Were you guys drinking and it got out of hand and it got physical?
No.
Or is it?
Sunday was one of the better days that we have had in quite some time. He's dancing with my dog. You can see that too on the pictures, him loving the dog. He loves the dog and dancing around, having a good time, and just being happy kind of thing. He doesn't know. I can get like maybe 2-3 glasses of wine and I'll be fine. But I have to have my wits about myself because I don't know what to expect.
Well, let's talk about Sunday. What was Sunday? How were you? Like, how many glasses of wine did you have? How many glasses of wine did he have?
This is important.
The bottle
Details.
was gone. I mean, I don't know
If you think someone's,
Hey, Scott,
shoot.
My neighbor.
Dang it.
And what he is learning.
You told us you weren't drunk.
No, I was not.
All right. Sorry about that. I meant to hit pause. Details are really important, especially if you think somebody's not telling the truth.
Drunk.
Right.
I was not drunk. So with him, I don't know. I know when it's like, oh, okay, man, where I have told him, slow down. It's starting to catch up with you. Slow down. Slow down. And another thing too is I don't like listening to music with him because he gets too involved in the music, and the music that he listens to is a little rough around the edges, and like just it makes me fractious listening to his music. So I kept asking him, let's just you and me talk. You and me will just be the ones that are talking, which was fine because I mean we were playing with the dog, whatever, and then it's like, okay, now let's do the painting. We just did the puzzle, took a break, now let's do this. Sure enough, sat down, we're sitting in there talking, laughing, talking about new movies, we're watching movie trailers while we're doing painting and all that other stuff. So it's still background noise to him because I think that's what he's used to, is having background noise. Where me, I can sit in here all day with not a peep, but he always has to have some kind of background noise, which I didn't mind because the trailers were cool and he was interested in showing them to me, getting excited about movies that were out or upcoming.
Okay.
So
on your laptop you're talking about?
Mhm.
Like, okay.
And I mean, and then it was.
But you said it was a good day. Like, you guys didn't have any conversations about your relationship. You guys didn't go down like the rabbit hole, like had too many to drink, and you guys start getting.
Nope. When I tell you this, it made me so happy that he actually listened to what I had to say. With just, we'll get through it. This will be fine. It's a small hurdle that you and I together will get through because.
I'm talking about the money, jobs,
Daughters.
stress.
Yes.
Nothing
No.
relationship-wise, though. Like, no issues. Like, did you guys have a conversation about your relationship, or was it just about
Just
like
what's
the stresses
going on right now.
She starts to like lose herself as she talks through and like talks about the relationship and talks as if he's still there. Like, and cops are like getting her to be like, yeah, let's just talk. We're just friends here sitting, discussing your relationship. Like she forgets that she zipped him in a suitcase and left him there to die just the night before.
I try to evoke it from him so he gets it off his chest, because I call him the volcano where eventually he's going to erupt.
Right.
And what he has learned in his classes is to communicate.
So what do you do to somebody that you think is going to erupt?
Mhm.
Which is a huge thing in a relationship,
Right.
where he has been practicing communication. So he actually talks to me about things and unburdens himself. Put it on me. I'll sit there and try and figure it out for you. Like I have almost everything.
Mhm.
Not a worry. Just tell me. Get it out of you.
Right.
But it was, when I tell you, I was so happy. Like it was such a good day. I kid you not. The weather was beautiful outside. I'm the one that had him go inside so we can do puzzles and painting and listen to music or whatever else he wants to do. So then he starts doing whatever it is we're doing together in the living room.
Lots of details. Lots of details are important for the prosecution.
And then starts talking, because I think he gets comfortable with, okay, you know what? We're here. It is a good day. Let me go ahead and explain myself. So I know. Nobody else knows, but I.
Sim Michelle. Absolutely. She's giving them at least some sort of motive, which we didn't have ever really with Daryl Brooks. But yeah, I mean, a lot of motive. And what's even worse is all of everything that she's saying here and all of her statements are going to line up with what all of you were saying about after we watched that video. And she was like, this is what you do to me. This is how you choke me or whatever. This lines up with that. That maybe things were not very good like she said they were. And maybe he didn't appreciate her. Maybe she was annoyed at all of his stress about his money problems and his ex and all of that.
I know. Nobody knew George better than I did. I say that I knew George better than himself. And
What kind of person says that? I knew him better than he knew himself. It's a special kind of person, I think.
Tried in every way, shape, and form. Ask everyone. I helped him. I took care of him. I missed him a lot, and I didn't even sleep last night. I miss him a lot.
So people are asking, is there a video of this? Go watch our last video where we watched the video together of him literally in the suitcase and her talking to him and him begging her to let him out. And then we're supposed to just believe she accidentally went upstairs and went to sleep after that. It's interesting. Prosecution's got a lot to work with in this case.
Is there any chance it got to be too much for you and you couldn't handle
that's a good
taking
question.
care of him and
I never stopped.
trying to?
I never stopped. That's what I'm here for. I never stopped. I'm here now because I'm still trying to help him.
Yeah, we just don't. I mean, it's unexplainable how he got these injuries, and
I have no idea.
you were the only one with him.
100% right hand to God. I have no idea how he got them.
A little over the top because, again, she is doing everything she can to convince these cops. It's really what she's trying to do.
Nobody touched anybody. Nobody touched anybody.
Okay. You had mentioned that you would take photos, videos, just kind of like a proof and just in general.
Yeah, I started documenting at one point, but that was way before, I think, the last time that he got arrested, where he was flying off the deep end.
Okay.
But then I had him bailed out. I got him out of jail.
Right.
But because he had violated the pretrial diversion, this time it's probation, so you don't have a choice in it. You have to go see your probation officer. You have to go to these classes. It's court ordered.
Mm-hmm.
Where it took him a while to get used to it and understand they're not messing around. I even went down and met his probation officer, which I say she's wonderful. That's one of my questions too I need to talk to you about. Hugged me and said how much she knows that I take care of him. She called me personally.
Everybody knows I'm the best. Everybody knows that he'd be so much worse off without me. Everybody knows that he's only where he is because of me. That's what I'm hearing here. I don't think, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think juries like that kind of a personality of somebody that's accused of literally murdering somebody else.
One time when George was at work, when he was working, 42-minute phone call. She and I just saying how grateful she is that George has me. And she knows how hard I'm working to help him, just as she is and just as the classes will. So once he started actually going on a regular basis to the probation officer and then to his substance abuse class and his, I don't know what BIP stands for, Batterers Intervention Program. Mm-hmm. And actually listening to what it is everyone had to say, he changed. Like I could see a change in him, where before lashing out, he would think about it. And would always come home and show me his papers. And we would look over his papers together. Where it's like, wow, you actually are learning this in class? And some of the stuff that they would show them, like videos, he would come home and be like, Sarah, I'm so sorry for what I've done to you. Because for a video that he watches to make him feel that way, where it's like, oh man, I have done her wrong. But he's changed. He changed.
And that's why you're still with him, even though he's done all these things to you. And
when I tell you I love him, I love him.
Even when you love somebody, you have limits.
Everybody tells me that. All my neighbors don't tell me that. The office.
Everybody tells me I'm too good for him, basically. Everybody tells me I should leave him. That's what she's saying. She's building herself up here. And we all know people that are like this, right? And the jury does too. That's the thing, is we think about that. When there's a party on a case, whether it's a defendant, a plaintiff, criminal defendant, is the jury going to look at them and think X? And on this case, I think they're going to see her as a certain kind of person.
Property manager.
At some point, somebody gets enough, then they have to do something to defend themselves.
So he's trying to get her to say it was self-defense. She's not trying to say that, though.
And I don't know if you would like to see on my phone, or I think it's actually on a laptop. And you have to understand too, I have, like, prior to classes in PO, kicked him out. How many times? I had him arrested. How many times?
But you also went down and bailed him out.
I know.
The next day.
It's in the video I did prior to this one on Sarah Boone. It's on the playlist on our YouTube page. Let's get to a couple questions here. A. O'Connor, what are your thoughts on temporal ratio model of memory in regards to people's stories changing in interrogations? So there's all sorts of data on this that different experts explain different ways, that based on certain verbal cues and questions that are asked to you, you'll start repeating that story or take that story over. Some people come in wanting to focus on a certain story, or hearing other people talk about it, or watching something on the news, or watching YouTube, whatever it may be, and your story can change with that. To me, I feel like she came in with a story to tell, and that's really what she was focusing on. John O'Rourke, she seems frantic to me, drinking to not drinking to happy relationship to hitting each other. I still don't know if it's hook, line, and sinker. Lawyer, we need thoughts. It's definitely on hook, line, and sinker. Like, I think she's going to have some arguments, and we'll talk about that as we go. But she is definitely trying to say one thing and then realizing maybe it's not good for her story or her angle, and then changing it, like you mentioned here, multiple times. I'm so great. We were doing so great, so it wouldn't make any sense that I would want to kill him. But then she switches to, well, he's so abusive. He's like a volcano. He's going to explode. It's so bad. And it sounds like maybe self-defense, the male cop says. And then she says, we weren't even drinking. I knew exactly what was going to happen or what was going on. Nothing bad happened. You can trust my recollection of the events. To, well, maybe I was drunk because then I could just go upstairs and pass out, and I didn't even think about it. It was total accident that I left him in the suitcase. So whatever's kind of working for her story at that moment seems to be what she's trying to tell the cops.
I know.
What's on your laptop?
What was I going to tell you? Oh, previously, I actually looked up how to file a restraining order.
Okay.
Because I would take it.
Oh, man. She acted like that was the smoking gun. Previously, she looked up how to file a restraining order. Problem is, they're going to, I mean, an argument could be she took matters into her own hands. She should have filed a restraining order. She should have left if she didn't want to be with him anymore, if she thought he was going to explode. And to me, this again is motive. She restrained him literally herself, which is illegal. You cannot do this.
Him out, his parents, because of them constantly having to take him back in, his bags of clothes, all his stuff. The last time, the father came out and irate and just not even, I don't even know if he knew Lucas was in the car. Just opened the back of my car and just started throwing all his crap in, just throwing it. Like the car would jostle, he was throwing all his stuff. At that point, because I continually did it, not continually, I think I maybe did it 3 times, and he has nowhere else to go, they got fed up and said, nope, either you're staying there or you're staying here. But if you're staying here at their place, it's permanent. You're not going back over there anymore. So what happens is he pursues me. So I don't know if y'all know where Katie Way Trail is. Okay, so it's literally right there from our apartment. Would ride his bike to work, but before he would leave extra early and come up to the wall, stand on top of his bike and poke his head over because he would know that I would be outside having my morning cigarette and cup of coffee.
Who doesn't start their morning with a cigarette and a cup of coffee? A lot of people are talking about she's on 6 lawyers. Yes, according to everything, that seems like it. Somebody said they read a letter that she wrote to her lawyer was incredibly condescending. It's very interesting. Like this case, a lot of stuff that's happened in this case makes it very interesting. It's going to trial in January. So we're doing some background on it and we're going to keep talking about it as long as you guys are interested. And if you're interested and you know people interested and you see them in other chats, let them know that we're talking about this case because I want as many different perspectives as we possibly can get because that's what makes this channel so great, especially the chat. Yeah, Billy G was the one that said the letters to the attorneys are condescending. Is being drunk an excuse for what she did? No, it would make it unintentional lingo, and it would bring the argument that it was an intentional homicide. She's got 2nd-degree murder, which is depraved heart. It could potentially be an argument against that and make it more of a negligent homicide or a manslaughter type of case, which has lesser punishments in Florida. But we'll see what they actually argue.
And I would also know too what time he would get off of work, where I would know, come getting off of work, he's gonna do the same thing. So it's not like I ever got like a break from him, where I told you all yesterday or whenever it was, I started to feel that it was too much togetherness. And when you have too much togetherness,
Force somebody into a suitcase and you get rid of that, right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. She's giving so many different opportunities as to, so you did actually do this. You did actually put him in a suitcase and leave him there.
Friction happens. So I'm going to go ride my bike. I'm going to go upstairs and read a book. But every waking moment, he wants to be with me. So, and mind you, our townhome is either upstairs or downstairs. So it's like, if you would like to sit downstairs and watch a movie or play on the laptop, look up some jobs, you're more than welcome to. I'm just going to be upstairs maybe watching one of my shows or maybe reading a book. So, and then when that would happen, we really needed that. So what's for now?
So, and this male cop, I think, is picking up on it. It's like, so you actually didn't like each other very much, or you didn't like him, is what it sounds like now. So he was doing all this to you, but you're the one that needed the space. He wanted to be with you every second of every day. Again, her story keeps changing where she thinks she's making herself look better, but she's actually putting herself in a position of, maybe I did commit this crime. We had too much togetherness. I needed him to get away from me, play on the laptop or watch something downstairs. I need to get away from you and go upstairs and read a book or whatever it may be.
Dinner. And then we would cook together and eat dinner and then crawl in the bed and watch a movie.
You're talking about this is like recent? I don't, you kind of like lost me. Like what are
you kind of lost me.
Like a little while ago. But
what are you even talking about? You just keep talking, but go ahead.
Now you're talking about tension building up and that you need space. So have you been feeling that way lately or?
No.
Okay.
No. Okay, my thing is too, so you all know, I hate that you can't talk to her, but Dee, his ex-wife, when I say a monster, she's a monster. Like she withholds
Like, did she zip him up in a suitcase and leave him there overnight? Like the stuff that people say. I've had a defendant in a car accident case that literally smashed into my client's car so hard, the trunk was in the back seat and it smashed my client's car into the car in front of her. And in her deposition, she literally said, "Ugh, yes, I hate driving during rush hour because all these people are so crazy and they don't pay attention to what's going on around them." I'm like, yeah. And they end up rear-ending people, right? And they end up smashing into people, right? She was like, "Ugh, yes, they're so annoying." Like people just, they lose awareness sometimes when you talk to them in a deposition or an interrogation.
Their children from speaking to him. So he gets upset about that, and then she like completely berates him about money, about the father that he is, what he did to her, all this other stuff. It doesn't matter. I mean, mind you, this is not like been recent, but which is why he didn't even bother calling anymore, because he knows that she's going to answer and he's going to have to talk to her, so therefore he can't talk to his daughter. The other time he talked to her, made her talk to Cookie. That's on my cell phone too, so you can see it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter.
What does she have to do though with anything about what happened?
Was she there? Was she there that night? No. So why are you bringing her up? Exactly. She's just telling the background about everybody else is horrible. She's a monster. He's an alcoholic. But I am his savior. That's basically how she's telling the story. She's the hero of her own story.
Sunday and into Monday. Like,
No, I'm just saying, like, previously,
Okay.
why the incidents, what happened is she plays a big part in it.
okay.
On
Is
top
that-
of job
yeah.
and money and
Mhm.
groceries and all that.
Okay.
Sunday, when I tell you this, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Is there anybody else at the house?
Nope, it's just me and him.
Since talking yesterday, do you remember any like timelines better? Like what time you guys were playing? What time he was zipped up in the luggage? What time you
I
went
told you-
upstairs?
What time were you playing? What time did you zip him up and never let him out again in your suitcase? Like nonchalantly asking this question because again, this cop realizes that she's just going to answer it like a normal question or tell it like a normal part of the day when in reality, the cop's like, this is wild. Wild.
We started because we cleaned the house a little bit, did some laundry.
You started the activities around 4, you said?
Yes, around
Mhm.
4:30ish, and then,
You just said that it was dark when you were playing hide and seek, and I'm just curious
Yeah.
if you remember.
but when we were outside, that's where we would start
Mhm.
and talk about things, and then eventually I was the one that had him come inside, so we could.
About what time, do you remember what time that was, is what she's asking?
And you said you went up to bed around
Midnight.
midnight, fell asleep around 12:30-ish, but those were the only times I have. So I have 4 and I have.
So if she remembers that she went up to bed at midnight and then fell asleep at 12:30 and she can remember all that, how does she forget that he's locked in a suitcase literally begging for his life? That doesn't track for me.
midnight, so there's a big gap. So I'm just curious, like, if you recall when you went upstairs to hide in the shower, or
Like when we started to play hide and
Mhm.
seek.
Yeah.
Well, we went inside probably about, if I had to guess, we weren't out there too long, maybe about 6-ish. Then.
you're talking about from hanging out outside and like,
Mhm.
okay,
Well, we have 2 beach chairs that are out there and
Right.
just enjoy the weather.
gotcha.
Plus, it started to get dark and gnats and mosquitoes.
Yeah.
So.
True. That's true in
let's go
Florida.
inside. I don't want to be out here anymore.
Okay.
All right, let's go. So we're doing whatever. We did it for a while because that puzzle, I don't know if they took it or they saw it. Worked on the puzzle again, finished it. Started to paint. Well, started to listen to music for a little bit. Started to paint. Can we turn the music off? No problem. Start at the top, paint, whatever. Maybe.
Yeah, Lisa, definitely not normal.
Puzzle. We worked on that for probably
I should say I've never
an hour and
done
a
it.
half. So 8 o'clock-ish?
Is when you went to
class?
hide upstairs originally?
No, that's when we were like painting, so then it's like, okay, well, I don't wanna paint anymore, let's just, come on. Okay, you wanna play hide and seek? What he does is, okay, tag, you're it, which is like, okay, we know, okay, take off.
Mhm.
Yeah, this just doesn't make any sense. Even weird adults, I don't think play hide and seek like that when you're by yourself in the house, tag you're it so we know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It seems a little weird. Joseph, I agree. And to me, I just feel like that's the angle I would have gone with. I mean, I don't know what the truth is, obviously, but she definitely sounded drunk. And I think the best discussion is we were drinking. I was drunk. He was drunk. He got in the suitcase on his own and he passed out. You may have no criminal liability there. You may have no culpability. I don't even remember how he got in the suitcase because I was drunk and he was drunk, but he's the one who said he wanted to get in the suitcase. I don't think I helped him get in the suitcase. How would they prove otherwise? You know, but with all these lies, just like Chandler Halderson, you remember back to that trial, one of the ways they convicted him is just all the lies he told throughout his life.
That's what we did.
And then you went upstairs and then he didn't come up and you came down and the suitcase was there originally because you guys were planning to do donations, so it was already there. Have you guys ever played you said you played hide and seek like probably 3 times in your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
When you have played, have you ever zipped him up in a suitcase prior?
No.
Okay. So it was just kind of like that prop was there and it was there.
Yes.
And it was in play because.
Why do you say it like that?
You guys tell me. So hide and seek. Yeah. See, he's picking up on her like going overboard. And he's like, why do you say it like that? But yes, he was locked in the suitcase and it was asphyxiation how he passed. But she says it like no, and you guys tell me, I don't know if you play different rules to hide and seek, but you usually don't help the person hide that you're finding. So if she had to help him get in the suitcase and zip him up, that doesn't really make sense for hide and seek, right? Am I missing something?
I would never do that.
You would never zip them up in a suitcase?
Boom, Marty, exactly.
I mean, we were playing.
No, I know,
that
but
time, but
I'm saying, I'm talking about hide and seek, which is a game. So
the suitcase originally is in our closet, buried all the way to the back. If you, I know the CSI people saw our closet. Our closet needs to be cleaned out really bad. My son's clothes need to be cleaned out really bad because they don't fit him anymore, and I'm tired of looking at them. So he took it upon himself, including that.
Now this looks like a master hide and seeker here, Billy. You can hide in a suitcase without zipping yourself up. And frankly, it almost may look more inconspicuous because they would think, oh, that they were going to get in the suitcase, maybe they'd zip it. Very weird.
Suitcase to take it downstairs so we can get all of our clothes, our donations and everything, and just leave the whole thing by the clothing and shoe thing at my son's school.
no, I'm just asking in the past, like, have you ever zipped him up in anything, jokingly or not? But obviously,
No.
I understand.
And in Rage Bacon, that's what we're trying to figure out. Were you guys joking around, seeing if he could fit in a suitcase, things like that, but zipping it all the way up? And especially with someone that they've both called the cops and been arrested for domestic violence against each other, doesn't seem like a recipe for success.
And, you know, you're claiming that Sunday it was a joking matter. You were laughing, he was laughing. But what I'm just asking is in the past, like, is it something that you guys normally do?
Absolutely.
Fair point, Carlos.
Okay.
We were actually this last game running out of places to hide because we have a townhome where it's upstairs or downstairs. So.
Okay, so do you remember making any videos or maybe having any any photos, videos that you remember?
And Winter, she's trying to explain every inconsistency. So Winter Wolf said the fact that it was downstairs tips it off to fall down the stairs. She couldn't fit or lift it with him in it. Yeah, well, she's got an explanation for that. Her house is a mess and they were going to donate it all in the suitcase. Billy, I was thinking the same thing. So Marty, she did admit zipping it in, just not all the way.
Doing on your phone on Sunday?
Well,
No.
I think I took a picture of a dog.
Okay.
So she doesn't
But
remember
your phone
taking the
is
video.
password protected. You have the password. He has the facial recognition, so it's not like someone else could be on your phone.
No, I have both.
So she asks all these setup questions, does a very good job, this female officer, to say, ain't nobody else touching this phone but you last night, right? I mean, we all know it's her because we can literally hear her voice. So if she would have lied here, it would have just been even worse, but she didn't.
But you have the face and the password.
Yes.
Yeah, but he only has the face, correct?
No.
To be able to get onto your phone, you told me that he looks at the phone.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought you were asking me if I did. Yes, it's me.
Okay, does he have access to your phone? Because you said it's
Yeah.
your phone. Okay, how does he have access?
Sarah, can I borrow your phone? Yeah, it's right there on the kitchen counter.
Okay, but how does he get into it? Because it's password protected.
He'll come and get it to me, and I'll just do the face thing. Where sometimes too, like he's, look, he'll joke with me and say, okay, I need to borrow your phone. And he'll hold it while I'm cooking or doing something, do the facial recognition.
Okay, so he doesn't know the password and he doesn't have the facial recognition.
No,
But he is the only other person that would use your phone, I'm
Yes.
assuming, other than.
well, Lucas.
Right. But Lucas wasn't there Sunday. Right.
She's like, let's just pretend like we're in trial right now and let's get all the other things out of the way. Lucas wasn't there. He didn't use the phone. Nobody else used your phone except for you that day, right? Okay. Just to make sure.
So, to your recollection, no videos on Sunday.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I thought I maybe took a picture of them.
Some people are saying she deleted the videos. I don't know. All I know is we've seen them and they're definitely from her phone and her filming. And I think that's where we're getting here.
The two of Tess and
The dogs.
George and them dancing, but I mean, it's just Tess.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I have something that I want to show you that we found. And it was from your phone.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this will be the last part we watch together for part 1 is her watching the video of herself and let's see her reaction.
Can you see it?
If you need to move it around, go ahead.
It's when somebody who's lying gets hit in the face with their lie and you get to watch it just real time.
No, I don't remember that.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me.
Your battery's about to die.
Shut it down.
Literally. So she hears herself saying, this is what you did to me. And he's like, Sarah, please, Sarah, donkey donk. This is the video of him in the suitcase. And we watched it together on my last video. If you want to check that out, Lawyer You Know, go subscribe. Check it out. We went into detail on exactly the video that's on this laptop right now. But she literally has no reaction, no emotional reaction to this at all. If I was really drunk and didn't even know this happened and wasn't on my phone, I feel like you'd have a pretty serious reaction to this. Does everybody agree with me in the chat or no?
Oh, okay.
Let me,
Audra, I have no idea what the offer is, but my guess is it's life or something close to
The
it.
battery doesn't last very long.
it used to last a lot longer than that. I don't know what happened.
Okay. Let me just grab something.
All right.
So this wasn't,
No, I was just simply asking because you had a look on your face when she asked you if you've ever done that before. You looked kind of shocked and,
No,
okay, but why did you say it like that? Like,
I don't think you all understand who I am, where,
well, tell me.
well, she's been taking the last 30 minutes trying to explain exactly who she is to them.
I mean, I've always been a straight A student. I am an outstanding
So you've been a straight A student and now she's going to tell us how great she is again. Let's hear it.
mother to my son. I excel at everything. I would not do that.
You wouldn't lock somebody in a suitcase?
She's a straight A student, great mother to her son. She excels at everything. So obviously she wouldn't do this. It's very strange. Very, very strange.
Well, I didn't like completely lock it. I mean, I opened it with one finger. I left enough in there for him to get out.
Okay.
So that right there is what you call an admission. She is admitting putting him in the suitcase. She didn't completely lock it. She left a finger. He could have got out if he wanted to, basically, is what she's saying. Oh, Hope, hit that notification bell. That stinks that it's not working. Everybody else hit that notification bell.
And I wasn't planning on going upstairs and going to sleep.
Okay.
That was a horrible admission right there,
No,
that
just
she
the way you
did
said it.
put
You
him
guys
in.
are scaring me.
Why?
She's finally figuring it out. Yes, Miss Boone, you are getting arrested for this. This male cop was like, so you don't usually lock him in the suitcase? You wouldn't have done that? So you're straight A, great mom, excel at everything. So that means you don't lock people in suitcases? And she's like, oh, crap. They are going to say I did this and arrest me for this. Thank you, Jenica.
We just want you to watch this. This came from your phone. Don't you want to know what's on it?
Yes, please.
Don't you want to know what's on your own phone that only you used, that your son didn't use, your boyfriend didn't use, your ex-husband didn't use, only you used it that day? So this could only be from you. We already established that. Don't you want to see what's on that phone? It's a great
Is it
job by
long?
this
Because I don't know how much I can take.
female detective. Is it long? Because I don't know how much I can take.
I don't know how to find it.
How about only as long as he was in the suitcase?
Do I have to watch this?
No.
I continuously throw up. I don't sleep. I don't want to.
I continuously throw up. I don't. So she's just losing it now. She already knows what the video is because she's already seen it. And now she's like, do I have to watch this? I continuously throw up. I don't sleep. I don't know how much of this I can take. Immediate change. Immediate change. Tommy, awesome. Welcome to the crew. If you're a new subscriber on the Boone case, let me know in the comments. If you're a new subscriber, let me know in the comments if you're here from this Boone case. But do you see how her demeanor completely changed? Just like that. She knows she's cooked at this point. She knows this is a bad video. She knows she's already said, I'm the only one that could have done this video. Pretty wild. Pretty wild.
See it, if that's okay.
Well, it's on your phone, and you can either explain it or we take it for what it is.
Yeah, we're just trying to give you.
So this is interesting. So you're seeing the cops kind of dance here, and I've paused it a couple times, so it may make it confusing, but they are dancing because she said, do I have to watch this? Do I have to watch this? And the answer is pretty much no, you don't have to watch this. You don't even have to be here at any time. You can leave, or actually we can arrest you. You can cut off this conversation anytime you want, but they don't want to remind her about that, especially now that her tone has changed and she realizes what's going on here. So they're dancing around and saying, well, I mean, you don't have to technically, but you can explain it yourself and explain to us why this is actually good for you. Because, you know, playing into her narcissism, you can actually explain why this is good for you, or we can just watch it and take it for what it is, meaning bad for you. So that's probably going to be good enough, since there's another hour and a half left of this, to keep her around and keep her talking. But at this point, she almost smartened up and asked for a lawyer and cut this off.
The opportunity to tell us what's going on.
It's a great opportunity for you to tell them what's going on.
It's that long?
2 minutes.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me. Fuck you.
Does it sound like they were great and she was helping him so much? And does it sound like they are, you know, just doing so great and she just wants to be there for him? Because that's not what that video sounds like. Awesome, Betsy.
And this
Fuck
is,
you.
that's you, your voice.
Stupid. Sarah. That's my name. Don't wear it out. Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me.
So this is interesting, right? These are all admissions. I can't breathe. He says it clearly. And she says, that's what you do when you choke me. So she is acknowledging that he cannot breathe in that suitcase, which the prosecutors are trying to prove. This means she knows that if she leaves him there, he's going to die, which is in the steps in this second-degree murder that they're trying to get to with the depraved heart.
I don't want to watch it, please.
She doesn't want to watch it, please. So she knows it's not good for her. And Kat, we haven't gotten there yet, but maybe we'll watch that one too if you guys want to. We've got some time here to do some background on this case. Becky, you should always bring an attorney anytime the police want to talk to you, in my opinion. I would always bring an attorney, or at least talk to one first. And if they say you don't need one to go with you, even if you're just a witness on a case, at least consult an attorney before you start talking to them and anything that you may have been involved in, even as a witness.
Last time we talked to you, you had said that you put him in the suitcase, he had 2 fingers hanging out. and you
I
went to
flipped him
bed.
over. I flipped him over, and that's where it was.
And there's 2 different videos and a still picture where, yeah, it shows you flipping him in different positions and him saying that he can't breathe and you saying, fuck
So
you.
this is upside down. So in order for him to have gotten into it,
It was flipped up.
right, it was flipped up normal,
Yes.
like as if you're packing something. So this is upside down.
First off, this is funny, right? So the cops say things as if they're truth. That's not the only way you can get in a suitcase, right? You can put the small part down, get in and have somebody put the big part over you. You could get in it that way, but it's much worse for her if she flipped it over while he was still in it, or like some people say, pushed it down the stairs. That's not good. But she's agreeing with them.
Guys, this is killing me right now.
So this image is upside down.
This is killing me because I realize what this means for me.
And then this small video that occurred 11 minutes later, it's flipped over the other way, closer to your dining room table.
Okay.
Now he's obviously still in there. So he didn't, how did it go from the back to the front?
I flipped it.
Okay.
So she's admitting that she flipped it. Right there. She's admitting that she flipped it, which makes it harder for him to get out. Diamonds and doggies. If no witnesses in her word only, could she have stuck to her story and not gotten arrested at all? It's possible. I mean, this definitely made it easier for law enforcement and for the state attorney's office. You better believe that. All of the information she's giving. I mean, she's giving them so much rope to go after her with. Winter Wolf, they could have, but I think they did the right thing. And I think the best chance they have to win at the most severe charge is second-degree murder. Yes, hit that like button, everybody.
My plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep,
Well, that's what you did.
Yeah.
but not intentional.
No, you told me you went upstairs because
What?
you were
Stop
getting
here.
ready for bed.
Stopped here.
Okay, but
Where's here?
show me where you can see any fingers coming out, because there's the end.
And his head's right here.
Mm-hmm.
So going like this, rather than going all the way up, it's like this.
Anytime they start standing up and trying to reenact things, it usually doesn't go well for them.
But why is he saying I can't breathe, and why is he pushing on it as if he can't get out?
And it doesn't show a hole.
There's no hole. There's no fingers. I don't see his fingers. There's no hole.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I don't know, like, what you want me to tell you.
I'm just showing you. I'm just telling you what we see and what we've heard from the other video.
I understand.
He's begging for you to let him out. You're laughing in the beginning, and then in the end, it sounds kind of like a.
No, it's not malicious.
Well, saying fuck you,
It's not malicious.
then what is that?
Then what is it?
What does fuck you mean to you?
Well,
Like if I were to tell my
like he
partner-
does. Like, I get called everything but a white woman, so.
So it's not malicious at all, but it's what he does to me. I get called everything but a white woman. Not going well for her.
Okay.
My intention was not to leave him in there. Please understand that. My intention was not to leave him in there.
But you went upstairs thinking that he could get himself
Yes.
out, but the video shows
That's
at
what I
no
told
point
you.
can I see his fingers.
He'll
it
be up
looks
here any
like-
minute.
And then 30 minutes later, he didn't show.
And he's telling you,
And I
he
didn't
can't
wake
breathe.
up.
Do you
He's
think
not
he's
able to get out.
joking? You told me he was laughing, and
We were
the
before.
video, there's no
When we
laughing.
first got in there, both of us were.
So how long was he in there for? Like, this video is at 11:12 when it starts, so was he in there for like a long time prior to you
No.
recording this?
No.
So it goes from funny to no longer funny,
But
but
I
you're the
didn't,
only one laughing.
but I didn't think that he was, like, panicky. Like,
So pushing up on a suitcase.
It absolutely sounded like he was panicky. Am I wrong?
Saying Sarah, 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 I can't breathe.
George has done that in the past before too, where it's just like he thinks that he's woe is me kind of thing, where it's like, I don't,
He's never,
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait a second. Wait a second. Did she just say he's been all woe is me before in the past and cried wolf before in the past? He's locked in a suitcase saying he can't breathe. If anything is woe is me, that's it. Is she serious? Like, imagine playing this for a jury. He was all woe is me as he was locked in a suitcase and couldn't breathe.
been locked in a suitcase. That's
No.
where he couldn't get out. So,
it's kind of, I thought it was
and
the
you know
boy
the oxygen.
crying wolf kind of thing.
Okay.
And again, my
Oh, she
friend,
literally says crying.
Nowhere in there is he laughing, is he joking. He is begging. And
Some would say he is dead serious.
you're the only one laughing.
okay,
And you're the only one saying derogatory comments.
Seriously.
Like you're mad.
no, please don't, I don't mean to sound negative, and I don't know if I can say this, but like, it's like you guys are kind of trying to like feed me, like,
No, I'm just trying to show you a video that
Ooh, she's picking up on it. It's like you're trying to feed me. Tori, depraved heart is worse than just indifference. It does have a certain recklessness to it, reckless disregard for the safety and human life, but it's a depraved heart murder. It's not just an accidental murder. It can be a crime of passion. You walk in, you see your wife sleeping with somebody else and you kill that guy. That can be a depraved heart murder.
you no longer want to watch because you probably don't want to know the outcome of how and what you said.
well, I know what,
You know what's on that video now?
No.
You remember making that video?
Oh, see, she's
Why don't-
catching her now. She's catching her now.
You remember making the video,
probably because we had been drinking.
but you weren't drunk.
Just because I went upstairs and, just
You
because
told
you're
us-
drunk doesn't mean
told us
that
several
you,
times that you were not drunk. You said that you had your wits about you. You said he had his wits about you.
Mhm.
You said that you don't like not having your wits. In my experience, if somebody cannot remember doing something to the extent of making 2 videos and a video and taking a photo, they are intoxicated.
okay, I understand where you're.
All right. We are going to pause it here. That's about a third of the way through. I'm planning on doing this in 3 parts, and I've already gone a little bit longer than I wanted to go today. So I've got to hurry up to my next appointment here. But this is wild. This interrogation is wild. We're at 38 minutes and 50 seconds. I appreciate everyone who's joined me on this because this is going to be a wild ride. We're going to continue doing it. You guys continue bringing the questions and the comments. I'm going to continue playing it, reacting it, tell you how it can be used in court, tell you what's proper, what's not proper, why the cops are doing this, all leading up to this trial that's hopefully going to start in January. Yes, Azam, we are already in overtime. It has been going on so long, but I appreciate you all. It is daylight saving, so it gets dark earlier here. And be kind. Thanks for all your comments. And yeah, her intentions seem very clear. And I agree. That's what I'm saying. So many of our streams are kind of miserable. The content is kind of miserable. But it's interesting to discuss it together, to see how people are handling this together, to see how our criminal justice system works, getting a lot of law enforcement time in here on this one. Janice, I could probably hop over there potentially. We'll see. We'll see how much interest it gets and what you guys want. If there's any benefit to going over there, because if I go over there, I can't really stream about it as much. But we'll see. We'll keep that in the pipe for now, and we'll kind of discuss it as the new year comes upon us. But thank you everybody for joining. Please hit that like button on the way out. Let anybody else that's following this case know we're breaking it down here so they can come join us in the future. And subscribe if you haven't already. If you're a new subscriber from this Sarah Boone case, I love to hear that in the comments. So let me know. You guys are awesome. Have a good rest of your day.